Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome in for our weekly collective card pulls where we tap into the tarot and the oracle for some insight, guidance, and wisdom for our week ahead. So, it has been a whirlwind of a week for me. I know I shared last Sunday that we were preparing to take my oldest child to college. Yes, she has flown from the nest, and it was a very emotional, bittersweet Friday as we left here in two cars that were packed to the gills with all of the things that she was taking with her to start this new leg of her journey. So my heart, my head, all the things have been very full with all of those expansive shifts and changes that are currently unfolding in my life. So I am very much in tune with the energies that you may already be feeling as well, because we have quite a big week energetically here that we're going to tap into with the cards, a little check in with the astrological weather, as well as we have a massive super moon in Aquarius tomorrow, the full moon happening on Monday, the 19th of August, and it is a biggie. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the astrological weather. Of course, this is something that I really got into in the full moon empowerment reading. So earlier today on the Sharecast here on Marco Polo, and as well as on my social media spaces, I shared the little intro to that part one of the full moon empowerment reading. So I recorded that last week, tapping into these energies that are incoming, where we got into it. It's about an hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds when I stopped recording of information and guidance, resources. I shared a full moon ritual from Forever Conscious, as well as some musical musings that came in for me around this full moon and the themes and energies I was tapping into. Then we did 4-card full moon spread along with the other decks I chose. One of them is this one. So you're going to get a little peek at that here today. It's the Shaman's Dream that I used for that reading. So some really big, I think very insightful and expansive messages came in through that part one. And everyone is invited to come along if you'd like. Even if you weren't with me this month for the empowerment pack, this reading is available a la carte. So if you want to join me for the full moon empowerment reading to really tap into these energies that we're moving into now and will be for the remainder of this week as we're really processing all of the shifts, changes, and as you'll see when I talk about the full moon, the shakeups, the wake-ups, the unexpected things that we may be experiencing individually, collectively, and more. You can join me for that a la carte. So the full moon empowerment reading is booking now. If you'd like to come along, you would get that part one right away. And then part two is your personal card pulls, which happen right here on Marco Polo. I send you a private video message where we tap into the tarot and the oracle to pull some cards for you with your personal intentions around this full moon, or if you just want a general message, etc. So do check that out. The link will be provided here. Also, just reach out, message me, and we'll get you all set up, because that first part one is already playing and is available if you would like to join. So with that, I share here to start us off the Queen of the Moon Oracle card that did come forward as a part of that reading, which I really get into in that first video. It is the Path. And of course, the numbers, the energies, all so synchronistically connected. This is card number 8. And of course, you know that we are in this 8 year, and we had just come through the 888 Lionsgate portal here in the 8th month. And of course, on that 8th day when it peaked, but we continue to have this energy of the path coming forward, which was very much in alignment with the sand table here, where I was tapping into this energy of the spiral and these pathways and things that are being carved and blazed, these trails in our lives that can feel very repetitive, very much like going in circles, going around again, spiral type energy, but actually has a bigger picture to show us about the beautiful picture that is actually being created from each one of those nuanced little, twists and turns and circles back around. So this was coming forward symbolically. Then we tapped in and got this card, which was really bringing forward this wrong over wrong climb to ascension, to this portal, to this new energy that's available for us to tap into through these paths that we are now blazing and charting and exploring. So yeah, lots to get into there. Like I said, that's all covered in the full moon reading. So if you want to know more about that energy that came forward and how you can work with it, do let me know you would like to receive that video to go deeper there. So I brought the path out to infuse that energy in here with the cards that we're going to tap into now. So first, we're going to shuffle up our beautiful tarot deck we're working with this month, the Spacious Tarot, and I've really enjoyed it in here. This was the beginning of the paths, the symbolism of paths and pathways and all these different ways that things are coming forward for us about the new that's coming in and the ending of certain paths and places and all the different energies that have served but are no longer serving, and perhaps we're ready to depart and move into a new direction. And so full moons are the time that we really focus on endings. And on the other side of that, of course, new beginnings. But part of endings is releasing, shedding, letting go, forgiving, transmuting of energies so that we can transform. And the butterfly symbolism has been abundant. That's been coming in for quite some time. And in fact, that's another card that came forward in the reading. There was butterfly symbolism that led to a really cool connection to nebulous energy and things that are not quite yet formed, but we, really have this opportunity to tap into so that we can, again, from an empowered place, make choices about where we wish to invest our energy and what we are creating. So lots to unpack in that reading, but let's get into this one for the collective. We do our weekly 5 tarot cards representing Monday through Friday, where we see, what we may expect energetically this week. And then we're going to use this beautiful Shaman's Dream for an oracle card at the end for a little extra message to punctuate our week. So if you would like, after these collective messages, a personal card pull for you this week, I do offer those complimentary over here on the Marco Polo Empowerment Sharecast. So if you're catching this video in one of my social media spaces, this is a sample of what we do over there in that free and fun space that's just tucked away from the noise of social media. I have monthly Empowerment Sharecasts where I do share these intuitive card readings and other specials and musings and things that come forward that are all about using these different tools for our own empowerment to make, again, choices through the lens of greater wisdom, understanding, insight, awareness. So let's see what's coming up here for Monday to kick off the week. A little bit of a theme, and of course, Monday is the full moon. So that is tomorrow as I'm recording this. Full moon in Aquarius and so much more. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that next in the astrological weather, but let's see what tarot card is coming in with that for the full moon this week. One card, please. Oh, we got a couple of flippers there, so I'm going to just set those back in and give it another shuffle. Again, shakeups, wake-ups, unexpected things, surprise energy as well. This is about being mindful, not fearful of the energetic weather that we are in and how that may present itself for us. So one card there for Monday. There, we'll do this one. Aha, yes, higher learning, the Hierophant. Beautiful. I have not seen this card. I've been working with this deck all month. We've been tapping in week after week. I use these for all of the personal month ahead readings for the Empowerment Pack. Have not seen that Hierophant yet. And it is a 5 energy. 5 brings the frequency of change, of transformation, of Yes, in the change, there is some chaos, confusion, but it's also the frequency, and this is so Aquarian, of freedom, of rebellion, of, breaking out lone wolf energy as well. So we've been talking a lot this month about the wolf because, of course, that was the spirit animal that came forward at the beginning of the month, the wolf energy, where we talked about lone wolf versus the wolf pack and so much more. The key word on that card, of course, got to bring it in. Authenticity, another truly Aquarian word. And guess what? It was card 17, which is what? 1 plus 7? It's an 8. So yes, the numbers, they've been speaking to us all month, as they always do, and continue as we move this week through the passage of time from Leo season to Virgo season. So I'll talk about that in the energetic weather as well. But happy birthday, Virgos. And let's see what's coming up this week, Tuesday, which represents a potential block or challenge this week. Block or challenge energy that we may encounter this week. The sun. Wow. Okay. So yeah, as we get to this precipice between Leo season, Virgo season, this energy of the sun, this sense of I am and shining that out into the world, how might that be challenged or in some way blocked? So we will tap into that energy. And by the way, so far, 2 major arcana cards. So again, this is significant energy this week. It's big, it's expansive. So not surprised at all that our first 2 cards are major. Wednesday is going to be our midweek blessing. So let's see what's coming in for Wednesday's energy as a midweek blessing. Card here, Wednesday. Ooh, the Guardian of Cups. So this is going to be, I believe, like a Queen of Cups energy. So we tap in here to, again, heart chakra energy with the cups, with flow, with feels. And there is a sense of balance coming forward from what has come to the surface, right? That beautiful lotus symbolizing, what has come up through the muck, what is growing, blossoming, and blooming in our lives, and how that ripples out. The beautiful blessings that can come from the growth that happens in dark and mucky places, right? So we'll tap into that. And then Thursday, how are we growing? How are we growing this week? What do we need to know here for Thursday's energy? Ace of Swords. So yeah, there's some new energy coming in here, and it's in the suit of swords. So that's bringing in air, which is expression of our thoughts, our words, our cutting through truths coming in as well. It's very clear cut. So, we're growing in perhaps, I'm feeling discernment. There's some discernment here, kind of cutting through very clear. And yeah, things could be clear as mud as we look at that lotus coming up there. It can be difficult to discern, difficult to have clarity, and especially in this retrograde season, Mercury in retrograde, of course, which can really affect communication and understanding. And I don't know, I've been in a brain fog for weeks. So, I could use some of this clarity for sure, but I'm definitely feeling that beautiful energy of just sort of coming up out of perhaps something that has been previously either hidden from view or very unclear, or in some way, like I said, clear as mud. And there's a clarity coming in, ringing true, very true is what I'm feeling. So we'll tap into that. I'm noticing a cool blue theme that we've got, the blues, the purples, these energies coming in, very Aquarian for me. Friday is wrapping up our week and pretty much wrapping up the month, right? So we're getting into, we have one more week. I'm going to be away this last week. So in terms of tapping into that last full week of August, I'll be in touch on exactly what creative way I come up with that I want to do that for us. But yeah, so we're really coming into this final stretch of the August energy and beginning to step into the new, of course, like I said, with Virgo season, but also with September just around the corner. So this week that we're wrapping up, this full moon week, what more do we need to know here to put this finality on the tarot cards, then we'll pull that one oracle message as well from the Shaman's Dream. One message here for Friday, please. Ah, look at this. Now we've got Child of Wands, which is going to be like your Page of Wands. There's this fiery energy, but I'm really feeling this piercing, this coming through. So we've got air and fire coming in. Now, of course, like I said, we had the water as well with the cups, but I'm really feeling the symbolism that you see in this poking through with precision and clarity and discernment and laser focus, because this is that fire, this creativity and sparks of inspiration and imagination and passion and so much more. So yeah, and this is again bringing in for us some of that final fiery Leo energy as we transition into the Virgo season. So let's see what we have coming in for this final thought from the Shaman's Dream. And like I said, we're going to pick up over on the Empowerment Sharecast. So again, if you're watching this on social media, please check it out. It's free. It's fun. You can have a complimentary personal card pull if you'd like. And yeah, we'll be continuing the conversation there to get into each of these cards as well as some of the energetic weather this week. And of course, this oracle message. So let's see what the Shaman's Dream wants to bring forward. Full moon in Aquarius week. Uranus all up in it. We're going to talk about that too. What do we need to know here from this beautiful Shaman's Dream deck that I've just started working with, actually? So let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm really seeing this visual of this direct line that's coming forward. Hollow bone, teach ability. So how interesting that we have master teacher energy here with the Hierophant kicking off the week, and we're punctuating it with teachability, the hollow bone. And that is going to bring in a 10 energy with this number 28, which again is the culmination of endings and new beginnings. 1 + 0 is 1. It brings us all the way full circle from seasons, chapters, closing, and new ones beginning. So we will get into all of this over on the Empowerment Sharecast now. So join me there. Thank you so much, guys. I'm sending you much love as we navigate these tumultuous energies together. Let's get into it now. Many blessings. All right, let's start things off with the energetic weather report for this week, where we are really coming in, moving and shaking with this Aquarius full moon. This is a super moon that's happening on Monday, August 19th. And it really is bringing in these winds of change that are being stirred up. And that's where this is my full moon altar for the empowerment reading that we did, that is available now. If you'd like to join us, that part 1 is here, where I get into these inspired words that came through. And there we go. There's our wake-up call. Alert, alert, shaken to awaken. So that brought forward for me some musical inspiration, a play on the song Keep On Rockin' in the Free World, Neil Young. You may have heard many different takes on that song, Pearl Jam for one, and I share a really cool version in the video, the full moon empowerment reading, that is a world remix where people from all over the world came together and played different instruments and brought their voices together to sing that song that I kind of tweaked here to say, keep on rockin' for a free world. So the idea that this full moon is, yes, bringing in unsettling energy that can certainly bring some moving, shaking, and rocking into our world, into our lives. And that may feel like things are in flux, or perhaps there's some surprising, unexpected information that comes to light that we're not sure what to do with. But it is these things that are making the necessary moves, the shaken to awaken vibes, the rockin', in order to bring through greater freedom and transformation beyond what we are ascending to, the age of Aquarius. So this is really powerful energies that serve. So the 𝓘𝓽𝓮 serves. That's really, the crux of it, but there was so much more to that reading. Again, if you want to dive deeper, highly encourage you to check out that very special offer. So as we're feeling this influx, unexpected things and such, yes, this can bring some confusion in around this full moon, but there's also this energy of awakening, because when things change, when the unexpected comes our way, our minds expand, our hearts can open, and we can start to look at new possibilities. So really trying to keep this in mind as you navigate this full moon and these energies. And it's going to be like a ripple effect. Like, we're going to continue those aftershocks from this energy that we're moving into. I really get into how Uranus is very active with this full moon, which of course is the home planet for Aquarius. So this is a very powerful energy that we are navigating right here and now, and will as we move into this week. So trying to keep all of that in mind as you're navigating this, come back to this idea that your mind and your world are being expanded in order to introduce those new possibilities. So even if it does feel uncomfortable, embrace the uncertainty is key. So like I said, we go way deeper into it in the empowerment reading. So let me know if you would like to come along for that. Now, additionally, this week, August 21st, we have the Sun and Regulus. So the Sun is aligning with one of the 4 royal stars, Regulus. So this is a power day where we get to experience the energy of Regulus beaming straight into our hearts. Because Regulus is known as the heart of the lion, and it is said to bring success, honors, and good fortune. So it's a very powerful energy that can supercharge both our heart chakras and our crown chakras. I'm seeing all of our cards this week, by the way, as I'm tapping into these energies, because we had that sword with all of that crown energy. We have the Sun coming in as a potential blocker challenge, which is all about that Leo fire energy of the heart. So and also, of course, the Queen of Cups. I mean, so much, all the cards that are coming in. So this really feels on point. So it's really helping us to balance compassion and forgiveness, and then to connect with the higher realms. So this is all coming in this week to be aware of these energies that are all serving. Now, August 22nd, officially bye-bye Leo season. Hello, Virgo season. The Sun moves into the earth sign of Virgo. So that is going to bring in for us perhaps some very welcomed, grounding, and stabilizing energy, right? With all this earth shaken to awaken, rocking for a free world, we've got the Virgin Goddess coming in here with some stabilizing, grounding energy. Virgo season is a great time to focus on creating healthy habits. This is a topic that's been coming up here in my household. We've been talking about sort of getting back into shape in terms of, feeling better in our bodies and having more energy and nourishing our bodies. So this has been something that's been going on around our dinner table conversations here. So I'm definitely feeling this and looking forward to potentially some support energetically here to bring some of that forward personally. But think about what habits you wish to cultivate. Virgo, known as the Virgin Goddess, because, she is sovereign in herself. She doesn't need external validation because she knows the answers that she seeks are within. This is definitely why we have the Hierophant coming in this week, talking about that inner knowing, that sovereignty, that sense of higher learning and wisdom coming in as well. So we have this coming in to really acknowledge how the Virgin Goddess energy is like, okay, the answers are within. How do we do that? Making her body her very own temple. So Virgo can unlock the wisdom needed to navigate whatever life brings our way. So create a healthy inner environment and then connect with yourself on a deeper level. And this is where I feel this ripple effect that comes in, because our midweek blessing is going to be that Queen of Cups with the ripples coming out. So there's this sense of as within, so without. So connect with yourself first in your inner world on a deeper level, knowing that the answers you seek are already inside of you, just waiting to blossom. So again, some really powerful energies this week, and maybe not easy. When I talk about these shakeups and these wake-ups, there is a sense of navigating the turbulence, and that's what we're here for. That's why we tap into these energies with the intention of the highest vibrational frequency that is available to us, the most expansive timelines that we set an intention here is the guidance that we're receiving. And we receive it through a lens of sovereignty, discernment, with your ability to choose for yourself what resonates and how you want to step forward from a more empowered place. So with that in mind, let's turn now to our tarot cards so we can tap into those energies, and then we'll finish it all off with our Shaman's Dream Oracle message. All right, here we go. We are going to tap in now for our Monday card, coming in here from the beautiful Spacious Tarot. We've got some major messages this week. No surprise, here on Full Moon Monday, on Moon Day, this very powerful supermoon in Aquarius coming in, bringing all the shakeups and the awake-ups, right? So we're talking about shaken to awaken energy, and it's coming in with the Hierophant. And this is perfect because the Hierophant is the card that talks about social structures, belief systems, but also it's that teacher energy, this higher learning, this understanding of ascension and expansion of our understandings. So this is very much representative of a lot of the energies that an Aquarius full moon would be bringing in. And so as we tap in here to the Spacious Tarot's take on this card, it talks about the Hierophant summoning you to explore your beliefs. And it's using this beautiful imagery of stone circles, saying that stone circles were important to many ancient cultures, but we do not know exactly how they were used. Perhaps they were the location of sacred rituals or ceremonies. The stones here invite you to share space with them in whatever way resonates with your belief system. So, really, this is so perfect because, tapping into, yes, your individuality being paramount, very important. It's also important to know that you're a member of something bigger. So this is about humanity, right? This is about understanding the whole circle. And so it's important here that we tap into this notion of having a sense of group identity, being a vital aspect of the Hierophant. So although the Hierophant has been traditionally linked to organized religion and other societal structures and hierarchies like governments, banks, institutions, structures, societal structures as we have known them. This sense of belonging, and I love this because this is dipping into the new of what's coming in, of what has already arrived, what's been seeded, and what we're looking at coming into form, is the sense of belonging arising in endless settings, right? That it doesn't need to be some type of traditional structure that may be rooted in an old belief system that is no longer serving. So embrace this type of community, or whatever type of community is right for you. Now, the Hierophant also shows the value of education. So be open to the teachers that you encounter, but be cautious of dogma. A good instructor does not aim to convince you that their view is the only correct way. Seek instructors who guide you in finding the way that is right for you. Perfect. This is what we're tapping into. This is what I was just saying with the energetic weather, that the intention as for me, this altar space, this sharecast, this place, this collective that we're tapping into energies here is all about empowerment. It's about understanding your own innate inner wisdom and utilizing the signs, the symbols, the messages that come through the cards for one, but so many other aspects that we like to bring in here with color, crystal, spirit, animal energy, just looking out our window to allowing nature to speak, the spiritual breadcrumbs, all of it is informing, it's inspiring, it's helping to begin those internal conversations that help to unveil and unpack the rising up of this inner wisdom that you already have within you, that you are remembering. And so this is a big lunation that we're moving. It's a very pivotal point that so much of that is coming up to the surface now. And yes, it's coming through ancient secrets, ancient stories and understandings that now, as we look at them through the lenses, these expanded lenses that we have available to us to expand beyond perhaps just storylines and limiting belief systems that are now coming together in a truly expansive way. So that's big. And I think it's just so spot on to set the tone with this major full moon and all of the aspects that are coming in with it. So again, if you would like to go deeper on that, the full moon empowerment reading is available. Part 1, I would send to you right away. And then part 2 will be coming in here this week for your personal card pulls for some guidance, insight, and wisdom around how you can work with this full moon with your intentions, as we grow. So let's keep going. We're going to take a look now at the Tuesday card. Now, Tuesday is our card that represents a potential block or challenge this week. It's another major arcana card. It's one of, if not the most positive cards of the tarot. It's the Sun, card 19 of the major arcana. So how could that be a block or a challenge? Well, I have my finger on it. I spy a little shadow being reflected over here in the corner, this little shadow to this big, bold, beautiful sunflower. And the sun is looking a little hazy to me here. So there's kind of like a haze coming in. Incidentally, when we were doing the card pull, we were talking about the numbers speaking, all the 8s again. We got 8 for the path. We got 8, of course, on the wolf spirit animal this whole month. And I talked about 10s coming in. We have 10 coming in with our oracle card that we'll talk about at the end, the 28 energy being a 10. Well, so is 19, right? 1 + 9 is 10. Again, endings, culminations, chapters, wrapping, and then new beginnings on the other side. This is a card of joy, of expression, of enlightenment, of radiance. So in what way might that be blocked or challenged this week? Well, when we talk about shaken to awaken and all these things that are rocking, there is a sense of that is unsettling energy. And is it challenging for us to stand tall and shine and be bold and joyful when we may have some instability in our lives, some plates shifting, some things that are also shadows being cast from what's being illuminated? So these breakthroughs, these ahas, these wake-up calls, these things that are coming in with this full moon can cast some shadow perhaps on the bright, sunny disposition that we might have been holding under an illusion of something. So, perhaps that could be a part of it, because the sun infuses us with life-affirming vitality. So the sunflower, of course, is often a symbol of that. So like the sunflower, allowing ourselves to revel in the radiance of life, right? And that like the sun itself, be the dazzling force of nature that you are. How might you open more fully to the light surrounding you at this time? And is it hard to open up when things are uncertain, when things are dicey, right? Perhaps it is. I would say so for most of us that want to feel safe, secure, predictable, in control, that may be difficult when things are kind of shook up as we're talking. So that is for sure one way that I could feel, a potential block or challenge with the sun's energy this week. Of course, just as we're tapping into the Spacious Tarot saying about the sun, nothing is hidden in the light of the sun. Conversely, as well, Nothing is hidden in the light of a super moon illuminating shadow. So, nothing is hidden. Yay. Nothing is hidden. Oh, so there's this sense of this contrast of it can be challenging to have things being illuminated, things coming to the surface, things sprouting up that we can't ignore. Sunflowers have a presence, right? The tallest in the garden, so you don't not see the sunflower. And likewise, I feel this sense of these things that are coming up, that are being illuminated, cannot be unseen, right? So in the uncertainty of change, of shakeups, of wake-ups, and all of it, can come some challenge, So, previously, perhaps there was fog, so clarity emerges. And I talked about this because I was seeing this symbol repeatedly. I am seeing this symbol repeatedly in our cards this week. Like I said, all three of these cards at the end have this cutting through with this precision symbolism coming in that I see right out the gate. And to me, that is about, clarity and, again, like streamlining things in a way that becomes so clear we can't not see it now. So, the fog dissipating, now we can see. However, the enlightenment that you find in the sun or the supermoon may not always be easy to assimilate, right? So that's where it can be a challenge. Truths can be glaring in the unforgiving light of day. Epiphanies abound, but they might be dazzling at first glance. So there's a lot to take in. It's like what I'm feeling right now is like when your eyes haven't adjusted. So you're in the dark, pupils enlarged, right? And then suddenly you're flooded with light and it's like, having to cover up because it's so bright. There's so much light coming in that it's overpowering. So taking it in bite-sized bits, so this is guidance for us to say, if it's overwhelming, if it's too much all at once, maybe one petal at a time, not the whole sunflower, because the sun brings in a reminder that life energy is infinite and boundless. So remember, in the potential blocks and challenges of this week, no matter how cold and dark the nights, the warm sun rises again. So serve the light in whatever ways you can by telling the truth, honoring yourself, and emanating your own warmth. Perfect. So spot on with these energies. I love that. So let's take that now into our midweek blessing for Wednesday. All right, Wednesday represents our midweek blessing, and we have the Guardian or Queen of Cups coming in here with her very empathetic and heart-centered ripple of energy coming in here, beautifully depicted by this koi fish and the lotus and the lily pads. So, I talked in the card pull about the lotus coming up through the muck, growing in the dark, in the murky, but blossoming anyway and setting out this ripple effect from the inside out. So the Guardian of Cups, again, empathy, heart-centeredness, it talks about, and again, this is cups, so we're going to bring in heart-centered energy. We're talking about the heart chakra. We're talking about emotions, love, and all of those feels. So when you harbor an innate understanding of emotions, you align with your inner Guardian of Cups. The Guardian has a mature connection with the suit of cups, and as such, this fish teaches you to respect and protect your emotional energy, just as it watches over the lotus flower. I love this. So first of all, note that when we're talking court cards and we have these traditional terms like queen, king, we're not talking about male, female. We're talking about in the sense of the suit, right? So the final two cards of the suit are the queen and the king, representing the spirit of the suit and the embodiment of the suit. So this is the Guardian. So there's this keeper energy that's coming in here of like really emanating the spirit of that suit. Again, This one's for the heart. This one's for the feels. So it talks about your empathic senses bringing messages from beyond to the surface. Deciphering these messages requires grace and self-love, as well as compassion for other beings. Let your intuition guide you forward. Listen to your heart, because it speaks of what is best for you and what is best for the whole. So once again, we're getting pointed to the inner light, the inner radiance, out to the out, right? So there's this sense of the ripple effect that comes from, and again, taking the beautiful symbolism of the lotus only growing in those dark, murky places in the mud, this beautiful symbol for how all of those difficult, dark days and challenges that you have already come through have all served to be some of your greatest teachers, right? And so in so doing, you hold that knowledge within you that then in your interactions with others, and as much as they're able to come from a heart-centered place that is empathic, that is compassionate, you are continuing on the ripple effect of that lesson just simply by being who you have blossomed into and continue to blossom and expand. That is what this fool's journey is all about. You know, we reach one lily pad, and this beautiful lotus flower comes forward as this fruit of the labor of our experiences, of a particular challenge, of a particular lesson, of a particular cycle that we've moved through. And yet there's another lily pad and another. And that on the fool's journey, there is this sense of, at its crux, and then this is beautiful because it's all going to culminate into the child of wands here at the end of the week, which would be the seeker, which would be this, the aspect of us. In many ways, the pages, or in this case, the child, are very much like a fool energy. Clean slate, curious, adventure, open, and looking to make moves and move into that space of taking action. So in an inspired way, as with the wands would have it. So here with this Guardian of Cups, it's through the deep feels. It's through the emotional muck, right? Whatever it brings forward for you, that these great lessons and blessings have come to the surface that we can then use as the inspiration, as the fuel, as the fodder of all kinds, right? The material that we use to create on this fool's journey. And that has to do then with all the others that we encounter. Remember, the Hierophant was talking about, yes, it is you, the individual, on your fool's journey, but it is also you, a part of the whole of humanity here in the rock circle, or whatever we want to call it, that we're talking about, that we're in this circle of interconnectedness. And so we could see that wherever we look here in the symbol of not just one singular sunflower, but an entire field of sunflowers, not just one lotus flower amongst one lily pad, but an entire pond, so there's this expansive energy, but it starts with the one. So that continues now as we go through our final 2 tarot cards this week. And then finally, I can't wait to see what our oracle card has to add as well. Let's take a look now at Thursday for how we're growing. All right, Thursday is our card that represents how we're growing. Now, it's kind of funny. If you're watching this on the Sharecast, you know that ahead of each of these little video clips, I do a little text that kind of just shows you, we're talking about Thursday, and I'll put a little emoji that's connected to the card. Well, the Wednesday card this week and the Thursday had the same emojis as last week, meaning there's been some consistent energies, because last week the Wednesday card was the 3 of Cups, I believe, and that had a lotus flower featured on it. And now last week we had the 7 of Swords as our Thursday card for the second week in a row last week. And that little thumbnail had just a singular sword on it. And now here we are again with the sword. So anyway, I'm just noticing the patterns even from my own connection to these cards, how they are all so consistent. So Thursday representing how we are growing as a collective, as individuals, we have the Ace of Swords coming through. And so that is the sense of, again, cutting through with clarity. And it speaks to the air element, which typically corresponds with mental energy, our thoughts, the crown, our beliefs, our ideas. But also I connect in as well with the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, for expression. So, here we come with an ace, which is always an offering of something new coming in. There's an offering coming forward in whatever suit, we're tapping into. That also calls for us, though, to have the opportunity to take it, to take the action, to receive the offering. It's not just a happening upon us. We have a role to play in it as well. So here on how we're growing, this Ace of Swords is guiding into carving out the possibilities of the mental realm. So once again, proper for Aquarius, we're talking about thoughts and beliefs and understandings. And these are upper chakra things that are happening all up in the crown because there's this expansion that's taking place. Just the word sword pierces through the clouds to let in the light. And incredible things can happen when you harness your mental energy. Remember that a sword can be used respectfully or it can be used to cause harm. Be intentional with your approach. So your words and beliefs are powerful tools. How might you best utilize these energies at this time? Cut away mindsets that are not useful and make space for new perspectives. If an idea strikes you out of the blue, be inquisitive of this new offering. Seek what is true, even when the truth is sharp. I think that's a good point. That's a very good point. Is that sometimes the truth stings, it cuts, it pierces, because again, if it is shocking, if it's surprising, if it's something that again, that like I said about the sun and the light flooding it from a dark space, and suddenly there's all this light and it's like blinding, right? So it can be piercing, it can be shocking, the truth. But it's all that matters is the truth at the end, the crux of the highest truth. And so how we are growing is, and what I'm feeling right now, and this is actually perfect because, so I just mentioned that in the previous 2 weeks, we received the 7 of Swords in this same spot. How are we growing? Now we have a new thought. 7 of Swords was about betrayal, was about thievery, about our thoughts sort of stealing our joy, our beliefs being a thief of our potential. So now, as we are coming through that, there's an understanding. We're growing into the understanding that it's what is most important is always the ultimate truth, not these stories and things that have kept us comfortable and quiet and complacent in many ways in our lives because of ease and comfort zone and so much more. That there's an ever growing group of individuals who want to know the truth, of truth seekers who are looking to dispel those lies or untruths or limited truths that have partial beliefs and understandings that everybody's truth is true. But there is a universal truth. And so this is really whose truth is truer in the truths, but yet, yes, because there's this beautiful coming, everything's moving towards this pinnacle place where we're all moving in this direction, obviously in our own ways, in our own spaces, through our own experiences, but it's happening. And so this is an expanding movement that is growing. So when we tap into the energy of how are we growing, I do think that no matter how difficult and unsettling and challenging those wake-ups, shake-ups, breakups, make-ups, all the things that are coming forward throughout this full moon week, it's all serving. And through it, we grow, right? So there is this ripple effect. Stay in the heart. Stay focused on being empathic and compassionate and rooted in your sovereignty and your truth, no matter what. and you will not be knocked down. We might be shaken, right? Because we have to keep on rocking for a free world. It is the motion of the rocking that creates the energy that is contagious, that is growing. So again, I know these are really big messages, but these are very significant times. And when we're talking about collective energy, we're tapping into all of it, meaning some things may resonate for you more than others. That's how it works. So you're always invited to take what resonates, leave the rest. There's always someone there to pick it up. But if you want to know more specifically about how all this big stuff might just apply to little old you, if you're feeling like, wow, that's a whole lot for a week, you can have a personal card pull if you would like. You can let me know if you have anything specific that you want to focus on for this week that you would want to know more about as how it may relate more specifically to you. And then beyond that, if you really want to explore these energies, the full moon empowerment reading is chock full of more guidance around all of this, and then presents that opportunity for you to have personal messages around this full moon and how it may be coming up for you. So again, that is something that you can book with me right now for this full moon happening this week. All right, we've almost got to the end. Let's take a look now at Friday to wrap things up, and then finally we'll have our oracle message. All right, finally Friday, we have the Child of Wands coming in here with, again, something that is striking, that's piercing through from the ground level up. Fire. So this is bringing in the wand suit, which is bringing in sparks of inspiration, ideas, aha moments, but through the lens of the child, the page. So that's going to be like novice energy, beginner energy into something new that's coming in, new inspirations, new epiphanies and ahas that we may have gotten through the energies that we've covered up to this point, that now we may be divinely inspired to take action on in some creative way. The wands bring forward a lot of creativity, imagination, of course, as do the child or page energy of the suit, because it is like our youth, our young people, the future generations coming in here with this new, again, we're talking about paths being blazed. And this feels like torch, magic wand energy of creation that I'm feeling here. So Friday wraps it all up, this big, big week, with this Child of Wands. And there is a sense of optimism and self-assurance that comes in with this energy. And it talks about in the Spacious Tarot how when we intimately connect to our instincts, we align with our inner Child of Wands, because there is no pressure to conform here. The salamander doesn't look to outside sources, but instead to his own channeled flame. This message has been coming up all week because we talked about going within, looking to your own inner light, your own inner wisdom, along with that teacher energy and teachability, right? And this explorer spirit as well. So how can you embrace your unique creative spark, which we all have? So even if you haven't been feeling particularly inspired, even if it has been very difficult because the energies can be very heavy, very dense and challenging, at the same time, I know many people have been feeling a surge in creativity and inspiration, but maybe not quite sure how to bring it into form. Again, these are key words that have been coming in around this full moon with this nebulous energy, these things that are unformed. We haven't quite put our finger on it or the tip of our sword or our wand. And yet now it seems that there's some direction coming in here, some clarity perhaps. And it's asking you this rhetorical question about how you can embrace your unique creative spark if you are feeling inspired. So the Child of Wands teaches you to be optimistic. You never know how good things could get unless you're willing to try. So what if you slip up? Like a child might, go for what excites you and don't conceal your enthusiasm. Let your zest for life radiate out and lead you forward. Yes, of course, we've been talking all month about the spirit of Leo and the energy of the inner child and joy and play just for the sake of it giving us life and excitement and inspiration. So this has been like the key note of the lessons of Leo season, is to be more playful, to be more in touch with your joy, whatever it is, and giving zero F's about what anybody in the external might think about that. So it reminds us of the spirit of children and how they, really just go for it simply because they feel inspired, because it's fun, because it's exciting. There isn't all that filter, all of that filter that has been created by, again, what we were reminded to release and shed and step away from with the Hierophant, those societal structures and those limiting beliefs and old outdated systems. I'm getting a little children are to be seen and not heard coming to mind right now, inspired by the Child of Wands. The idea of squelching the creativity and the expression out of our children for the sake of good manners, right? For being quiet, for being obedient. These are things that, we all carry generational trauma and wounding from, that we are transmuting and have an opportunity to now with the children in our lives, whether you have children yourself or not, if you work with children, if you are around children, or letting yourself to be inspired by children, it's all coming forward here. We are growing, we are expanding, we are evolving, right? So big stuff, guys. And I feel emotional about that because it's really powerful and it's really the stuff of change, and it's here, it's happening. Right? So this idea of things that have been stagnant, this old mucky, murky stuff is clearing. And that's perfect because, Aquarius, the water bearer, really about this sense of taking the murky, mucky, toxic of the waters and filtering it through with this balance that's coming in through the two, of the water bearer and the vases, and the sense of, the vessels, of purifying and clarifying the water. It's not the water, it's the muck, right? So it's the shift and the change in how we approach and the belief systems that we attach to these things that we're really tapping into here. So again, big stuff. Happy to talk through it with you if things are popping for you, if you're kind of feeling a sense of, what this might be connecting to for you, or if you have no idea at all. If you want a personal card pull, let me know here on Marco Polo, and I will be in touch this week with your personal card pull. But for now, let's wrap things up with our beautiful oracle message from the Shaman's Dream. All right, we are wrapping up our messages this week with this beautiful oracle message that came forward from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Now, this is a deck that I never had. I just recently got it at the suggestion of my soul sister, Moonlight Soul, and we even tapped into this deck for our latest collaboration of Stars and Cards, which is now playing on my YouTube channel for this full moon in Aquarius. So that's yet another resource you can tap into for messages from stars and cards that came forward around this lunation. So again, I shared that in the Sharecast. It's on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. We really enjoyed the messages that came forward on that one. I hope you do too if you check it out. But we pulled a card from the deck there, and I thought, wow, I've been missing out on this. I really love of course, Colette Baron-Reid's work and Albeto Villoldo. So I love that this deck comes forward now with another powerful message for us this week, the hollow bone teachability. And that's feeling very connected to, of course, the Hierophant energy and so much more that we've covered here for this week. But also the energy of the vibration of 10 with this 28. 2 plus 8 brings forward numerologically the number 10, which is endings, culminating, coming into wholeness, completion, and then new beginnings on the other side. So what do we need to know around all that has culminated this week? And again, I didn't even point out this one. So this is also giving me familiar vibes. There's so much, again, this is what I mean. And, we pulled all these cards together. It's a matter of when you let yourself tune in to the signs, the symbols that are coming forward, and you look at them with discernment through your own lens, you can start to see these patterns, the patterns in the numbers, the patterns in the symbols and the shapes and the words that come forward. And I mean, yeah, wow. Like I mentioned that we were seeing this repeatedly with the sword and the wand, and now here we have the ladder and this hollow bone. So let's see what that has to say here with the shaman's dream. Teachability, humility, being empty so that the wind of spirit can breathe through you. The hollow wing bone of an eagle is a flute for the shamans. The appearance of the hollow bone invites you to become empty of your notions of who you are, to check your ego at the door, and to know that this is not about you, right? Relinquish your need to be right and to express an opinion, as this will not change anything right now. You are being called to practice humility. Hollow yourself out and hear the wind blow through you and play you like a flute. You will learn the language of the squall and the storm and understand the message in the summer breeze. There is an important communication waiting for you. Humility is the swiftest path for you to become like hollow bone. Drop all notions and titles that bolster your ego. Eliminate the doer and allow things to happen of their own accord. Remember that you can accomplish most anything if you are willing to let someone else take credit for it. Hollow bone has come to caution you to believe only 50% of what others think and only 10% of what you think. Trust your experience, not what you have read in sacred books or holy texts. This will allow you to turn apparent danger into opportunity. Remember that you are an insignificant grain of sand in the grand scheme of life, and as important as the brightest sun. So you are both, right? You are both as insignificant as a grain of sand in the grand scheme of life and as important as the brightest sun. I'm feeling a little, I am not just a drop in the ocean. I am the ocean in one drop from Rumi right there, right? That's feeling like this beautiful symbolism of, again, all is one. And I love this beautiful, that's gorgeous. So that's a flute is what we're seeing there, is the hollow bone of an eagle being played as a flute, and really allowing yourself to stay as an empty vessel so that the wind can blow through you and play that beautiful music. So that's lovely. And again, I get death energy here with this picked clean to the bone, down to the skull. And again, it's perfect because it's the skull, and the skull is where we house, that's the crown. That's where we have that big, beautiful brain that's always working overtime with the ego behind the curtain saying, oh, stay safe, stay safe. So we churn everything around, and it's typically rooted in some sense of fear or lack or worry that we don't have enough or we're not okay, and checking everything out and making sure. And then we get so carried away in hypothetical brouhaha that we could be missing the whole point of this beautiful inspiration and clarity and higher truth that is coming through. And this is taking us through all the cards this week, because from these higher vantage points, which, like I said, I really get into this in the full moon empowerment reading, but I mention about this card always that she kind of reminds me of Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And she's not going anywhere yet, right? Her hands are behind her back. She's idle, but she's kind of looking up at what's possible up there, away there, And it is like that decision of, taking the red pill or the blue pill, going down the rabbit hole. Am I going to climb in there and take that ascension journey? Or am I going to stay down here safe and predictable in what I already know? So it all started here with the path. And then it expands out into the Hierophant coming in with these lessons of higher learning and knowing and understanding, and the casting away of those old skins of the soul, these belief systems, these things that have kept us playing small with limited beliefs, and, putting our trust and our faith and our belief in something outside of us versus coming within. So it's all showing us here in these cards. And, we get into what's difficult is to shine amongst all of that when it's unclear. The sun was telling us that when things are murky or foggy or, there's shadows being cast, it can be difficult to stand tall proudly and boldly and confidently and shine. And these have all been culminating lessons of Leo season that we've had an opportunity to tap into. And there is a shadow side there, right? So again, all coming back. And if here on the Sharecast, you're welcome to always go back and check out the prior week's messages. It's actually pretty cool to go back and see how it all may have played out, how it all unfolded. I usually look at the very first week of messages as sort of setting the tone for the week and some of the themes that we may see and the ways in which we might expect the energies to play out throughout the month. So it is kind of neat to go back and look at all of that and kind of see, do your own little audit on how the month has played out for you and what have you learned and what are you leaving behind and what are you taking with you. And so again, all of this coming full circle. So I hope you've enjoyed the messages here this week. Like I said, be easy on yourself. Just one thing at a time, one petal at a time on that sunflower. But if you need more support or guidance, please reach out. Like I said, you're welcome to have a card pull this week if you'd like. And I would love it if you wanted to come along for the full moon reading. Because like I said, I do feel that there were some very powerful messages that came forward in there that may very well help you to navigate and really maximize the energies that are available to us this week and beyond. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all much love and many, many blessings. We'll talk soon.